Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Glor. Ukraine's prime minister calls it a declaration of war, the U.S. an invasion. Russia says it's protecting its people. What you call it depends on where you come from. This is what it looks like in Crimea tonight. The White House says Russian forces effectively control the peninsula that makes up the southern portion of Ukraine, and it appears they're preparing an occupation. The U.S., European Union, and NATO all say Russia is violating international law. The question is, what can they do about it? In pro-Western Kiev, what they're doing is protesting. Tens of thousands have gathered in the capital, demonstrating against Russia's actions. We have learned tonight that Secretary of State John Kerry is on his way to Ukraine tomorrow. Off the top tonight, we have two reports. We'll hear from Liz Palmer in Crimea in a moment. But first, Charlie D'Agata in Kiev.
Anger, outrage, and fear filled Kiev's Independence Square today. Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk warned that Russia's military intervention in Crimea has brought Ukraine to the brink of disaster.
This is the red alert. This is not the threat. This is actually the declaration of war to my country.
The newly formed government put the army on high alert and called on men of fighting age, hundreds of thousands of reservists, to be ready to take up arms. Thousands of demonstrators rallied against Russia's actions, calling President Vladimir Putin a dictator and a liar. This sign says, "Putin, hands off Ukraine." In the place where they're still mourning those killed in protests that brought the Russian-backed president down, activist Olesia Yeroshkina told us there's little appetite for more bloodshed.
Of course I'm worried, because I don't want to have war, and I don't want more people to die here for our independence.
But every man of fighting age we spoke to, like lawyer Oleg Pekach, said they were ready to do just that.
What Putin is doing right now in Crimea, it is absolute madness for everyone, for Putin, for Russia, for Russian people, for Ukraine, for Europe, for the whole world.
Are you willing to fight?
I'm more than sure.
Nearly everyone told us they were hoping, if not entirely convinced, that Russia's military intervention would stop in Crimea and wouldn't advance into further areas in the Ukraine. And Jeff, for all their patriotism, they're well aware that Ukrainian forces don't have the firepower or hardware to match the Russian military.
Charlie D'Agata, thank you.